This big chicken track, having this big chicken chopper tractor is really working out well. So we'll see how that goes. It's supposed to be like.
My dad's having trouble. Just had him today.
All right, we're going to talk about chickens today and our new mobile coop. But before we talk chickens, we got to pump these guys out. We got almost 2 inches of rain again last night, and their pig pen flooded, as you can see, and it turns green really quick. It's been almost 90 degrees yesterday and close to 90, I think 90 again today. High humidity. Just got done with church, so of course I do this in my Sunday finest. Gonna be transitioning to a swimming suit real quick, and we're gonna hook this sump pump up. Not to drop my phone here, but we got this guy for $5, and boy does it work nice. All right, we got her hooked up. We're gonna pump this water out. Oh, I would say another couple hours we'll be down and the water will be out. But we're gonna go take a look at our eggmobile now. The one that we bought on auction, got an awesome deal on it. Finally put some work into it. We got the Premier One fencing, and we got the Premier One solar fencer. It's like a 1 joule. Been playing around trying to understand the different voltage and how not mowing right now is affecting. Eventually we're gonna get a little push mower or something so that we can mow the edges of where the fence is gonna be, so it kind of holds up and doesn't short out or wear the voltage down. We're gonna take a quick spin over to where we got our egg layers, and we just put our last batch of Cornish cross out. We're no longer gonna be doing those in the fall. All the fall birds are gonna be our American breasts. Cornish cross will be maybe a batch or two in the spring, and then, you know, in the end of August, September sometime when they're 16 weeks old, we'll do our breasts. So. There she is in all her glory. We got the fencing set around here. This guy so far has been pretty awesome. So far this is pretty easy to work with. We got 2 grounds. One here and one underneath here, and then you run your little yellow clip to the clip there on the fencing. The biggest challenge is figuring out what do you got for perimeter with this fencing. Next year I think we're gonna add more egg layers, and we're gonna have more fencing so they got a little bit more room to move around. But boy, is it hot out today. We're going swimming for sure. We have a ground here and a ground underneath there, and you can see the light pulsing. Turn that off, pull that off, and we can go check in there. I checked this morning. I don't know if there'll be any eggs in here, but we had a little issue with them wanting to lay eggs in here initially. There's so much material all inside that you'll see that they were just finding nesting areas. They actually put chicken wire on the bottom of that, so that next year we're gonna put like slats. I think it was Salatin, or our friends Jake and Julie were showing us, just so that the poop all falls down. There's less bedding material in there. They're more prone to nest in the nesting box. We chose to have the fence going right tight along the one side. They got shade underneath here. And then easy water, everything else really set up nice. We slowly transitioned away from like fixed pens to the mobile pens. We don't have a whole lot of property, but we have 1.6 acres of woods back there. What we're on right now, our neighbors are very kind to let us utilize their property. We did plant some oats on it just to get something started, but next year we got some interesting plans. We're probably gonna still just plant oats or something that we can till up before we get into like some nice grasses. But man, running the chickens on this area, really start to notice the fertilizer deficiency. And then you can see all our oats over here. We're actually gonna try harvesting some of them with the old scythe. I think they're getting close to being ready. I mean, comes off fairly easily. The seed's in there. Kind of showing our kids where oats come from, what rolled oats look like. I didn't plant any grass, but you can see I did plant some clover as an experiment, and there's definitely some there. What kind of grass? It's just I don't know, ragweed. We got our little Cornish cross last batch. We got them in here. We put them out yesterday in the heat in the morning. Oh man, we were dripping sweat. But man, it's so nice to have them make the mess out here and not something that we have to clean up or use a whole bunch of wood chips and everything else to kind of keep things clean. One thing I want to know, and you guys comment below, let me know how you make your turns if you're running Salatins, because I'm still trying to figure that out. To make a turn here, and I just kind of keep offsetting them until I can get everything in line and make a run back. We put the Cornish cross there and we'll join them up with the rest of this. Next year we might run the long way of the field, make it a little easier. These are some of our American breasts that we hatched. These are the hens. And then we separated out the roosters. Of these guys, only a couple are gonna be lucky enough to make it. We gotta look at the leg stature. We're still learning, but we gotta look and evaluate what we have to choose from here and pick what would be the best option overall. Learning so much on this as we go, and don't be afraid to try it, really. What we want to transition to, this is our younger batch of breasts that we did. What we want to transition to is something where we can hatch and breed all of our own birds. They may not be as big, but definitely the taste quality and the texture and everything else is right there with the Cornish cross. Takes you 16 weeks instead of 8 weeks. So but they do eat some of the grass. They don't eat all grain like the Cornish cross are just grain. So we're curious to see how everything develops here. It looks like a lot more hens in this batch, but some of them are really small. We're definitely culling those, but we're just gonna give them some time. All in all, this is the way to go. We got a portable water out there, and that is not the way to go, in my opinion. Maybe the Salatins have their place with large operations, but man, it's heavy, hard to move around, hard to get at the birds, you name it. But having water and food out here, and having this big chicken chopper tractor is really working out well. So one other addition we did is we took that off of our main coop and put it on here. It's a night or dusk to dawn timer on there, so it opens and closes. We're still working on getting all the birds in there at night. I don't think all of them are. It's getting better. They're just used to being pastured in one of these, so they're sitting on the ground. But they're definitely transitioning into it. Last thing, Saturday morning. Didn't really want to buy or spend any more money on chicken stuff this year. We've certainly done enough. But as we came across these two sweet deals, a guy was selling these on Marketplace. He was asking $400. Overall, they're in pretty decent shape. I think he built the door better than we built our doors. He did go with the hardware on the outside, which we've now since gone on the inside. But overall, I mean, they did a pretty stand-up job on this. And for $150, is what we got each of these for. The tarps were in bad shape. For the amount of time and labor we saved, I cut the tarp off of this one. I threw it in that one. This one was on the back of my truck, and this is on the trailer. I just didn't want anything going airborne when we're going down old 96. So, but yeah, I mean, you can see the price was right, and they were built well enough. I'll take a cheap chicken tractor over building them ourselves. Not terrible to build, but it's just a time commitment, and everything out here on the homestead takes time, including working a normal job. But you know, you got to make sacrifices where you can, and to spend the money on that, the materials were that alone. So it was a no-brainer. Hopefully you guys learned something here and continue to watch. The vast majority of the people that are watching our videos are not subscribed, so please subscribe. We certainly need the help. Would love to hit over 500. We start getting more, maybe we can do some giveaways or something like that. We really don't have a lot to give, but something that could be sent in the mail anyway. So we'll see what happens, but thank you again for watching. We appreciate it. One last thing I gotta say is put an automatic water on your Siskovich. I built a little stand, as you can see, gravity into those platoon feeders. That's the way to go. Well, we got her pumped down. I don't know, maybe once a week. I try to throw some bleach in there or something to keep that from going nuts. At some point, we're moving the pig pen. Probably not the best spot. One of the lowest spots. A lot of stuff up on the hill. The neighbor's driveway, everything kind of comes down, and a lot of it comes this way. Great for your garden. Not so great if you have a pig pen. They do like water, but boy, it gets snotty. So, stone. It's 90 degrees. We're going swimming. I'd love to weed in the garden, but oh, man, you ain't much else you're gonna do.
Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.